Do your Instagram Reels sizzle or do they fizzle? Instagram Reels are a powerful way to grow your following. If you're a business owner, you're going to want to listen to this entire episode as we discuss trending Reels and tips to be the most effective on Instagram. And if you found this podcast episode helpful, make sure you hit that follow button. Lady bosses, are you working even after putting the kids to bed but still not getting results?
Are you tired of spending money on ads that aren't getting engagement?
Do you feel burdened that you aren't fulfilling your purpose in life because you are so consumed with work?
I'm your host, Brooke Boltz. I'm an attorney and founder of Boltz Legal. I started my business and in 1 year was bringing in 7 figures and am now bringing in multi-7 figures.
And I'm your co-host, Rachel Boltz, owner of Boltz Media. I've helped many businesses build their online presence and increase their revenue through digital marketing.
Want to hear how we did it?
We are here to help you achieve your goals personally, professionally, and spiritually.
So kick off your high heels, sit back, and let's ignite that passion.
We're Miss Biz, where we're putting the Miss in biz.
Let's get biz done. 140 billion reels are played every day on Instagram and Facebook.
Holy moly, that's a lot of reels.
That's a lot of reels and a lot of hours spent by people scrolling through and watching reels. It is so complicating as a business owner or business professional to understand the best places to be posting your content. Not only do we have to figure out which platforms to utilize, but within those platforms, there's so many options such as stories or reels or posts or lives. But we're here today to share with you that if your goal on social media is to increase your following, that reels are going to be the best way to do that. Why?
A study found that Reels result in 22% more followers than videos on your feed. And specifically, Instagram is number 1 to find new brands.
So if you post a video on your regular page as a post, that's going to be viewed by your followers or some of your followers, a small percentage of your followers. But if you post it as a reel, it's going to be discoverable by non-followers. So this is why it is such a powerful tool for growing your Instagram base. Data shows that Reels can get up to 300% more engagement than regular Instagram videos.
And I think that it's important to note that the engagement also depends on the type of content and the type of reels that you're creating. And we're going to discuss some ideas and some tips for better reels. Per Hootsuite, over time, they've learned that the best time of day to post for Instagram Reels is 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. Monday through Thursday, surprisingly. And this data has changed even from the last time we looked it up a couple of months ago. So in terms of digital marketing, you want to make sure that you're always researching the latest trends because human behaviors change.
And the way to do that easily is on the Meta Business Suite. You can just look, and when you go to the scheduling tool, it will give you a recommended time to post. Those are going to be when your followers are the most engaged. But according to Hootsuite, as Rachel said, 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. tends to be the best time for non-followers who are active on Instagram. So how often should we be doing Reels?
So the industry standard to post is 4 to 7 reels per week, and that's going to help you increase your followers as much as possible.
There's been debate on this too. I've had people tell me before that I should be posting multiple videos per day because the more content that's out there, the more often that people are going to see you and the more likely they are to follow you. But in the recent research I've done, it's really said that posting too much can be a deterrent to people. They can become overwhelmed with too much content, so that 4 to 7 reels a week is really that sweet spot. And so my goal currently is I'd like to be posting 1 reel a day, which is 7 a week.
And there's different tools that you can use on the Meta Business Suite. So you can either, the less effective way is to create the video on your phone and to, stitch it together that way. The most effective way is to use the Instagram platform itself to create the video. They have different templates that you can use, but what's also important to note is the text option that they give you in the creator tools. So Brooke, do you want to explain a little bit about how that affects Reels and discoverability?
Sure. So in Instagram, when you go to create a post or a reel, you would click the plus icon. I can't tell you when I first started Instagram how long it took me to figure out how to just create content. It's the plus side. I didn't know that at first, but you click the plus and then it'll give you some options to scroll through if you want to make a post, a reel, a live, or whatever. You want to scroll over to reel. Then when you either video your content right then through Instagram or upload a video that you've already recorded, you can add wording to the top or the bottom of your reel. I recommend for Instagram putting it at the top because it puts other wording automatically along the bottom, and some of your wording could get cut off if you put it along the bottom. So putting those captions or putting that wording into your video through the Instagram platform is the best way to have searchability of your keywords. If you put those those captions in through some other video editing tool, it's not going to be searchable within Instagram and people may not find you. So the best way to do it is to either video your content right then through Instagram and add the captions within the video itself, or take a pre-recorded video but upload it to Instagram and put your words in there through the Instagram platform so that Instagram recognizes those words when people are searching for similar content.
Yes, and the wording that you use via Instagram, that's also really important in terms of getting people to watch it. If it shows up as a suggested video and there is something that is relatable or intriguing that's within that wording, that's going to make people want to click on the video and watch the video simply before even watching it in full.
I will say that in uploading it separately to the different platforms is kind of a pain. Uploading it to Instagram, adding your wording, adding your trending music through Instagram, then going to Facebook, doing the same thing, going to TikTok and doing the same thing. It is a pain. So if you're just starting out and you don't want to be overwhelmed by all of this social media stuff and you don't have someone to delegate to, then perhaps choose one platform that you really want to grow first and focus there, because doing it this way is going to be more effective in building one platform than just kind of haphazardly posting on all the different ones different ways and not really utilizing the tools that each platform has available. So we first discussed why Reels are important and how you can use it as an effective tool to grow your following. The next thing that we're going to discuss is ideas for content and trending Reels. A lot of times you'll watch videos or even listen to podcasts and they'll say, generate great content, but they don't tell you how to do it or really give you prime examples. So that's something that we're going to discuss next. So any type of reel or video that you create, the hook is the most important part of it. It's the part that brings people in and engages them and makes them want to watch. When I talk about hooks, it takes me back to middle school when I was learning to write an essay or write a speech, and your teacher says, what's your hook? You got to write a hook. It's the first thing you've got to do. And for me, the hook is so important because you don't have people's attention for very long. And the statistics show that if you don't grab their attention within the first 2 to 3 seconds, then they're going to keep scrolling. So we've put together a compilation of a list of hook ideas that you can use to hopefully bring in people to want to engage and watch your content.
One of my favorite hooks is the top blank tips. So it could be, the top 3 things you need to know if you get in a car accident, or, the top 3 ways to lower your cholesterol levels. People are really intrigued by those things because they want information that is simplified, and they want it to be relatable to them. So if you're able to utilize those keywords for your target market within that hook, that is something that's going to be more than likely engaging to them and keep them from, basically scrolling past you and moving on to the next thing.
The top 3 tips is also very organized. I know whenever I see a top 3 tip, I know, okay, I'm going to get value of 3 things, and it's going to be quick, it's going to be efficient. And so I listen to those oftentimes because I want to hear the top 3 tips. But also, it's a good tip to put your number 1 tip as the final tip so that people hang with you and stay through the whole video. If they watch your whole video, you get what I call Instagram points, which means you are overcoming the algorithms and you're getting more views, and Instagram is showing your content to more people. So if you put your top tip at the end, people are more likely to stick with you and hang through the whole video.
And if it's a longer type video, more than 20 seconds, you're going to want to tell them, make sure you watch the whole video and stay tuned for the 3rd tip as it's our favorite. Because what that's going to do is it's going to create curiosity, and it's going to ensure that people stay on to watch the full thing, which is going to maximize your engagement and, as Brooke mentioned, give you more Instagram points so that it looks better on your insight report. Also, make sure that if you're giving somebody a promise, for lack of a better term, if you're saying this is the best tip at the end, make sure that it really is the best tip that you have to offer at the end so that your viewers don't feel cheated.
Guess what?
What?
That's a hook.
Ah, I see what you did there.
So guess what is a great hook to start your videos with? It raises excitement, and people want to hear what's coming next.
Another one is exciting news alert. People are curious, and people are kind of fascinated by the news too. So if you're telling them, this is an exciting alert and it's information that you need to know, they're going to want to stay tuned and hear what it's all about.
Another one just like that is big news drop! Exclamation.
Yep. Sneak peek alert. Things like that are going to captivate their attention. It's possibly going to stop them if they were in the middle of doing something or they weren't really paying attention. Once they hear those key words, they're going to be more likely to watch and view what you have to share.
With the sneak peek too, you might gain a follower, because if they like the sneak peek, then they might want to see the big reveal when it comes out eventually, and so maybe they'll follow you.
Absolutely. Anytime that you can showcase in your hook to something that is big and exciting is going to get people's attention. So, for example, get ready to witness the most epic sunset you've ever seen. People are going to want to see that. They know what a sunset looks like, but they want to see what the best sunset looks like.
And you can apply that to your business. Get ready to witness the most epic, and then fill in the blank with whatever your business does. Get ready to witness the most epic car accident settlement you've ever heard of. That would apply to my business.
Yes. If you enjoy the Miss Biz podcast but still have questions or need advice, we have some exciting news for you. Join us for Miss Biz Connects. Miss Biz Connects is a weekly 1-hour Zoom call on Fridays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
This is 1 hour each week dedicated to you. We want to meet you and put our brains together to help you grow personally, professionally, and spiritually.
To access the meeting link, visit us on our social media pages at Miss Biz Podcast or send us an email to missbizpod@gmail.com.
Join us this Friday and let's grow the Miss Biz Nation.
Also, anytime that you can compare and contrast in your hook, that's something that's going to really help your hook in your reel. So for example, if you're an interior decorator and you have a hook like from cluttered chaos to cozy perfection, that is going to be something that's appealing to most people. Anyone that's had kids, they know what chaos looks like. So they're going to want to end up seeing the final project.
Another hook is what I call the Did You Knows. And this is a great way to share a surprising or little known fact. So did you know that chia seeds have more omega-3 fatty acids? Is that what they're called? Fatty acids?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. Omega-3 fatty acids than fish, right? Did you know? So the Did You Knows are a great hook, and adding hashtag mindblown is another trending hashtag that you could use for that hook.
The thing about social media is people are on social media for a couple different reasons. One, they want to connect to people that they already know, or maybe they want to grow their following base. Two, they want to learn something. Three, they want to find something that's relatable to them. And four, they want to be entertained. So if you can complete one of those objectives in your hook, you're going to have a much more successful reel because that's what your viewers want to see.
So next we're going to transition to a topic of what types of reels. Now that you know some hooks, what type of reels are popular and trending that you could take advantage of in your business? So I would encourage you first, though, to do a 7-day audit of what you personally stop scrolling for. We are both creators of content and consumers of content. So paying attention to your own scrolling habits is going to give you insight into what other people like you are likely to do. So I'm going to challenge you, and I'm going to do this challenge myself, is for the next 7 days, make a list of the type of content that you stop scrolling for. Make a separate list if you watch it more than once intentionally. And make a third list if you not only stop scrolling and watch it more than once, but you share it with somebody else. That's going to give you some insight into what people like to watch when they are scrolling through social media on their reels.
Absolutely. And if you're stuck on ideas on what types of reels to make, here are the best performing reels that you can use for generally any business. And the first one are your before and after videos. That's where you showcase something that, you know, had like either a normal or average or even bad appearance before, and then boom, some magic happens and it looks 1,000 times better now. That's your before and afters. And a way that you can kind of emphasize it in a way that is trending right now is through your transitions. And if you need ideas on, you know, different types of transitions that you can do, there is a ton of information out there on the internet. There's ones that are very easy, and then there's some that are very complicated. If you've watched one of our countdown videos, you'll actually be able to see that I fell in one of them because, I don't know, it was kind of difficult to do.
Yeah, that countdown one was was harder than it looks. But transition videos are great for businesses where you have a visible difference from the before and after. If I had a business like that, I think I'd be doing before and afters all the time because those are some of the most popular videos. But there are ways to incorporate it into other types of businesses as well. We recently shot a promotional video for Bolts Legal, and we did a transition video of how we looked when we showed up in our just t-shirts and no hair and no makeup, and then transitioned it quickly to when we were all done up. And so that was a great transition video for us to do as a law firm. It's not always so easy to come up with ideas. Another transition video that a friend of mine did was we were on a girls trip and we went to some wineries, and she got, I think, tens of thousands, at least 40,000 views on this video. And she's not, doesn't have a huge following on TikTok. So that was really impressive to get that many views without any type of boosting. But we were on a girls trip and we went to some wineries, and the start of the video was her saying before the wineries, and she scrolls through the bus and everyone's just sitting quietly on their phones, maybe talking to their neighbor, but just very chill. And then the music shifts and she says after the wineries, and then there's literally one person who's doing a backflip off of one of the railings in the bus. Everybody's dancing around, and it's just really funny. And she got a huge amount of views, and I'm sure a ton of followers, because that video was just really entertaining.
Yeah, there are definitely ways to be creative with it. If you're not necessarily an industry that does a lot of before and afters, you can find different aspects to shed a before and after on. But really, if you are an industry like a renovation company or a med spa, you're definitely, the majority of your reels, you're gonna want to be doing these before and afters, because that is what's going to sell the service. That is what people are going to see, and they're going to be like, wow, that outcome came out so good. I would like to have a similar experience. Let me hire them. So before and afters, and then if you can incorporate transitions, it just kind of helps emphasize whatever the after effect is. Recipes are another great way to shed some light with your reels and to engage more people, especially if you are an industry that deals with food, or even food service, or even if you're making custom made soaps. Putting recipes together, that's something that people find very entertaining and are going to want to connect with.
Someone that I really enjoy watching her recipes she's not a chef, like that's known for being a chef. Her name's Hannah Ann. She's actually known for being on The Bachelorette, but she does these cute little recipes that are good for entertaining, and they look appealing on the plate. So if you're hosting, for example, a Super Bowl party, she'll put together just little football designed food for your guests, and it doesn't require a lot of cooking skills, which is always critical for me and because I'm domestically challenged. And if you're just looking for examples of someone to model for recipes for someone who's not necessarily known for your cooking, Hannah Ann, I think, is a good example.
Quick tutorials are another great idea for reels. So people are always looking for simplified information. They're looking for a way to do something that's easier than the way that they were doing previously. So if you can create a quick tutorial on, how to change a tire real quick, or if that's in relation to your business, or something in your field that can help simplify and help the life of your audience, that is going to be something that they find value on, and it's going to make them want to follow you so that they can see what other types of tutorials that you offer. And an example that I follow on Instagram is easy.hair.diy. They have some awesome hairstyles that they showcase. It's very quick. I don't think many of their videos last any longer than 20 seconds, and they show how to create beautiful updos, side braids, in very simple steps, and it's easy to follow along.
I need to watch that those tutorials. I've got like 3 go-to little easy hairstyles, and that's all I can do. So I'm going to be checking out the easy.hair.diy. Health tips are another really popular type of reel that people enjoy watching. For an example, I would say you could check out Miss Amber Shaw, MS Amber Shaw. She's a health coach that was a health coach of mine, and I actually went to high school with her. She has a great following on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. So if you're looking for an example to model for health tips, she'd be a good one to check out.
Also, a day in the life of. People love to see what your daily interaction looks like. You know, they have an idea of what Brooke looks like as an attorney, but they don't really know what goes on during that process, either in her role as an attorney or even after hours when she gets home. So being able to showcase and highlight some of those areas where it gives people a better perspective of who she is as a person is going to be something that's appealing to others. Also, the day in the life videos, that's something good if you're a vlogger or if you're a travel agency and you want to showcase all these different places that you've gone. Those type of videos are going to be great for you to incorporate into your reels.
A day in the life of me would be pretty boring. I drive, I type on the computer, and I talk on the phone. That's about it for my work life. Maybe day in the life at home would be a little more entertaining, dealing with my children.
When life has you stressed, Miss Biz has your back. Mom hack.
Broken glass? Use a wet cotton ball or Q-tip to pick up the small shards of glass you can't easily see.
Mama knows best, and if anyone tells you different, it's probably because they are a dad.
So another type of trending reel is educational snippets. These are great for those business professionals, the accountants, the financial advisors, the realtors, the mortgage brokers. You all have valuable information that people want to hear in bite sizes, and the reel is the perfect way to do that. So if you can find a topic that's relevant and timely, your reel could get great engagement and have great shareability. An example would be if tax season is coming up and there is a new write-off that is not well known. If you share that in a quick reel, that would be super popular and would probably get a ton of engagement and be shared a lot.
Or if you're a financial advisor, you can showcase something and say, you know, if you have children, this is how much you need to be saving and what kind of account you need to put money into so that by the time they're 18, they have X amount of dollars. Things of that nature are information that's going to really resonate with your audience, and it's going to create that value aspect. So not only do you get that one video that they're engaging in, but also they're following you and they want to hear more of what you have to say.
Behind the scenes videos are also super engaging, especially if you have a product business or like an industrial type of business where you are, doing something interesting behind the scenes. If you work in a laboratory or, any type of where you're creating a product where they can see how you go about doing this. I have a friend, actually, this is a good example, who owns a t-shirt making company called Go Ink It. And she does behind the scenes videos of the screen printing of the t-shirts. And that's really interesting because we see people wearing t-shirts all the time, but we don't often understand how these shirts are made. So having these behind the scenes where you can see the t-shirts being made on the press is pretty interesting.
Absolutely. Another good idea is a comedic sketch. So when you are doing something that's funny with your staff or it's entertaining in a way, that is something that people are going to like. They're going to have a good experience. It's going to stimulate some different chemicals in their heads so that they feel happy about what they just saw.
These are my favorite. Of everything that I watch on social media, I love to watch comedians and funny sketches. So here's a couple of examples you can look to if you're looking for ideas. Just yesterday, though, I didn't write down the name of who did this, but it was hilarious. It was two parents who said how we're going to visit our kids when they're grown. And they walk in the front door, they throw their shoes around, they go in the bathroom, take some toothpaste and squeeze it on the counter and just start making a mess in their kid's house. And I thought that was hilarious because that is exactly what my kids do. But some others to follow: Cole Shell 28 is her Instagram name. COLECHELLE 28 is hilarious. I watch literally every video that I see of hers. She does these compare and contrast between a white mom and a black mom. And she's like, this is how a white mom behaves when her kids show up late for pickup, and then she contrasts it with this is how a black mom does it, and it is just so funny. And so check her out for some really great comedic content. And then B Mac Writes is another one I like to watch. B, that's the letter B, MACK Writes, WRITES. She does the Molice. So she's like the mom police, and she shows up and like writes your kids citations for all of their different their violations that they have performed. So I really like her too. And then finally, Grandma Droniak. She's not only funny, but she is inspiring because she is 93 years old and she has a huge following on social media. And it's also a good reminder at 93 years old that you don't always have to be picture perfect to get on camera and make a reel. I know for certain, because I've done it myself, that there are times where I may have an idea and I don't do it because I don't feel like I'm gonna like the way I look on camera. I'm not camera ready. And so don't hold back because you don't feel picture perfect. I understand that you don't want to look like you just rolled out of bed, especially if you're a professional. So, brush your hair, brush your teeth, kind of thing. But if you get an idea on the go and you're in the car and you maybe are not done up to the fullest extent, but you look put together, don't hold back. Go ahead and do your reel. People are not going to judge you nearly as harshly as you judge yourself. And frankly, the world of social media is so quick and fast paced that they're going to see it today and they're going to forget about it tomorrow and be on to the next thing. So just get your content out there so that you can be gaining new followers on a consistent basis.
And another good point about waiting is if you wait, a lot of times, one, you can forget what you wanted to talk about or certain key points that you wanted to touch on if you don't write it down. But two, like that passion dies down. If you wait, 2 days later to discuss a certain topic, you're not going to be feeling as fired up about it as you were in that moment when you were thinking about shooting it. Another thing is if it's something that's trending or something that's relevant, if you wait too long, it may not be trending anymore. So you want to make sure that you capitalize on it quickly. Also, there's a lot of times where we've already shot the videos and we over critique ourselves so much to the point where we're like, oh, I should have said this better. I should have did that. I should have focused more on this. If you beat yourself up too much about it, you're never going to put anything out there. So just get it out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. And you are going to be harder on yourself than anyone else ever will be on you.
If you have kids, they are a great resource for comedic content. If you're comfortable with them being on social media, my kids are hilarious. And so if I'm ever able to capture some of that on video and repurpose it for my business, it is always very engaging. And I'll give you just one quick example. We were at a restaurant and there was a popular song playing, and my daughters just started doing some silly dance moves, just like sitting at the restaurant table. So I took out my phone and videoed their dance moves, and then I later posted it to social media and said, they're auditioning to be the Bolts Legal Dance Team. What do you think? And so I just took something cute and funny they were doing. I made a caption that was related to my business, and it was funny, it was engaging, and it got a lot of comments by people saying, no, or some saying, yes, hire them immediately. So it invited people to comment.
In terms of ideas for Reels, you can even combine some of the things that we discussed earlier. So for example, if you're talking about, here's the 3 tips to lose weight, you can throw in a before and after picture, and even in some cases use that as your hook, as your beginning shot, to get people to watch it and want to pay attention to it. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can be creative with the content that you're making.
Is your Facebook feed drier than leftover turkey?
Well, if so, you're in luck. We've got a cornucopia of likes, shares, and comments waiting for you.
Join us for Socially Stoked Facebook edition on November 10th at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
During this 1-hour Zoom meetup, attendees will receive 40 page follows as well as shares, likes, and comments for one Facebook post that you select.
We only have space for 40 attendees. Reserve your spot on the Eventbrite link you can find in the Miss Biz show notes or on social media.
Don't be a turkey. Sign up today.
So we're going to transition now from the types of reels to make now to some tips on how to make your reels effective. Hopefully we've gotten your brain juices flowing, and you are now thinking of some good ideas for reels. And so now we're going to tell you some ways to create them in an effective way.
So when you're making your videos, when you're shooting the film, you're going to want to use a vertical video. So you're going to want to make sure that your camera is pointed up and down and that the frame that you're using is vertical if you're using a resource outside of the Meta Business Suite to actually post onto it. The other thing, if you're creating these videos on an outside platform, you're going to want to make sure that the aspect ratio is 9:16. And within Instagram, you can use a cropping tool to resize for other placements as well.
You also want to, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but put text on the screen from within the platform, and also add captions. A lot of people watch reels in places where they can't have audio playing. If they're sitting in a library or sitting in a business office scrolling, they can't have the audio on. And if you don't have captions, they're just going to keep scrolling. If you do have captions, though, there's a good chance that they will watch it. So add captions. I think you can do that within the platforms, but there's also tools and apps you can purchase outside of the platforms to add captions if you don't know how to do that.
Also, you can optimize your reels by tagging collaborators and locations. So for example, once you're done posting the video, it'll give you or before you hit post, but once you're done with all the other aspects of creating the video, the last thing will be to tag someone, and that's where you can tag anybody on your team that was included in the video, any customers that you've had if they gave you permission, and anyone else that was kind of involved in the reel creation. And you'll want to make sure that you're tagging the location as well, so that people that are within your area will be able to discover your brand.
Also, trending music is a great way to reach new audiences in Instagram. So the way to tell if an audio is trending is when you're scrolling through Reels, if you see in the bottom left-hand corner, it'll show you the name of the song, and if there is a white arrow that is pointing upwards, that means that it's trending. If you click on that arrow, it will take you to the music, and you can click use music now or use this music, and it will automatically add that to your template to be able to upload your video with that music. Also, if you're just looking for ideas and you like the music but you don't know what to do with it, by clicking that arrow, it'll show you other reels that other people have used that music for, which might give you some new ideas on how you could utilize the music as well.
And you can save the music for later. Let's say you find a few good trending songs that you think would be good to use. They give you the option to save it for later so that when you do actually decide to post your reels, you can incorporate the music that way. Also, you can use music, trending music, without it being the focus of your video. So once you upload the video or upload the music into the video, you can adjust the volume so that it's just background noise, so that you still get all the benefits of using the trending music, but it doesn't take away from your video if it's a video that it is you as the business owner talking about something.
And the way to do that is just on the controls when you're creating the upload in the video in Instagram. There's a little icon that says controls, and there you can adjust the volume of your voice and the volume of the audio, and you can create it just as background music.
Absolutely. If you create a video on TikTok, you decide to download it, that is not going to be optimal for uploading onto Instagram. And the reason why is because it has that TikTok watermark on it. There's nothing you can do to take that off. So if you do create videos, you're going to want to first create them onto TikTok, download them, and then upload them to TikTok if you're wanting to use TikTok. It is best in terms of visibility if you can do it that way, because then you can insert all of the specific text assets per platform. So for example, if you create a video on a third-party video editing app, it's not going to recognize the keywords the same way it's going to recognize them as if you actually created the video on Instagram or on TikTok.
So shorter is sweeter when it comes to Reels. 60 seconds is the max time that you can do a Reel, but anything longer than 20 seconds is not optimal. There are some tricks to getting people to watch your video more than once so you can gain Instagram points. And something I've seen people do is they'll take a trending audio for 7 seconds, but then they will type wording onto the screen that takes longer than 7 seconds to read. And as they're reading that full text, the audio is just looping. And each time it loops past the 7 seconds, Instagram's reading that as a rewatch. So you're banking all those Instagram points for someone who's watching your video over and over, and in reality they were just trying to read the text that was on the video. So that's a hack or a trick that I've seen people do to gain Instagram points. But in general, shorter is better. You get those points if they watch the full thing, and if it's longer, it's going to be less likely they're going to watch it all.
Also, in terms of trending music, if you have a business account and you are limited to the types of music that you can use, there's a way to get around that by switching to a creator account, and that will allow you to get more access to trending songs in the music library.
Also, Instagram used to only allow you to put one website or one link in your bio, and now you can do up to 5. So we recommend utilizing those 5 websites to be able to bring users to your website or other social media accounts, or we use our podcast as another link that we put on our social media site. So if people click on those links in your bio, that also is going to give you more Instagram points.
Absolutely. Another tip is to use different angles in your videos. That is going to keep people's attention spans more engaged. If you look at videographers or filmmakers, they are using all kinds of different angles. So making sure that you switch it up to keep people's attention, that's going to be something that benefits the engagement in your reels. And if you happen to need help, let's say you're new at creating Instagram reels, or maybe you're not as tech savvy as you should be, Instagram has different templates that you can use that are going to help you in creating like these different transitions and kind of tying in all these different angles.
Also, reels don't always have to be video. They could be photos. So you could literally right now pull out your phone, find your 5 best product photos, and put them into a template in Instagram, and have a really, add some trending music, and have a really professional reel that could get a lot of engagement in really just a few seconds worth of time looking through your phone to find a few of your best photos.
Something to keep in mind is Instagram limits the numbers of hashtags that you can use in Reels to 30. But really, Instagram, they only recommend using 3 to 5 hashtags in Reels, and say that using 10 to 20 hashtags won't do you any good.
Right. And I think that's something also that has evolved over time in the digital market world, because there was a time when people were saying put all the hashtags you can possibly think of, and now they're saying really 3 to 5 is where it's at. So what type of hashtags should people be using on their reels?
So number 1, you always want to use your company name. Regardless of whether it's trending or not, you want your company name to be there, because people may not necessarily, if you don't directly mention it in your reel, know that your law firm is Boltz Legal. But by you making sure that you put Boltz Legal as a hashtag, people are going to be able to click on it and discover you. Another thing that you're going to want to incorporate into hashtags is any type of slogan that you have. So using the law firm, for example, fear no storm. That is kind of your catchphrase and your tagline that you use for your business. Other hashtags to use for Insta Reels would be hashtag Reels, hashtag Reels Instagram, hashtag Reels Video, hashtags or hashtag Instagrammers. There's all kinds of top trending hashtags, but again, things always change, so you're going to want to make sure that you're looking them up and also making sure that it's specific to your industry as well.
Yes, everything is about keywords these days, and for people who want to find your content to be able to find you. So hashtags are going to be a good way for someone to type in quick recipes and your content to come up if that's a hashtag that you've used.
Absolutely. Well, we hope that you enjoyed our episode today. We'd love to hear what you think. Please make sure that you connect with us on social media. And if you have any ideas or you need any additional information in regards to Reels or anything else in terms of digital marketing, we would love to help you.
I'd love to see your Reels personally, so if you want to tag me in them, or we have a Facebook group called Miss Biz Nation. If you'd like to add your Reels on our group page, we would be happy to comment and let you know our thoughts.
We appreciate you and are honored to be on this journey with you. We can't wait to help you, to encourage you, and show you how to grow personally, professionally, and spiritually.
If you found Miss Biz helpful, Please leave a review and share with others.
You can follow us on social media at Miss Biz Podcast.
For legal questions or services, please visit boltslegal.com.
And for digital marketing needs, please visit boltsmedia.com. Let's get biz done.